The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into it and back at it. You've got The Local Show with Tom and Steve and our county executive, Ryan McMahon. Thank you for stopping by. I know you're busy, always busy. You've never had another job other than politics, right?
When you were a legislator, those are part-time positions. So I was always in the real estate and finance world.
Gotcha.
Doing mortgages, commercial consulting, and whatnot. But once you get really when I became the chairman of the legislature, you had to put things on the back pedal, because that was, even though it was part-time, technically is really full-time work.
Right.
But obviously, as county executive, I don't have time to do anything else.
Sure. Yeah, I would imagine. So you got a bunch of projects that I really loved to hear about, and I was talking with Dave Knapp and some of your other friends and saying I'd love to be the voice of the aquarium. Yes. And then people say, well, they're never going to build that. But they're building it, right?
Yeah.
Why do people always say nothing's going to happen and they're happening?
Well, it's funny. I was at a Boeheim's Army game, right? Yeah. And some guy came up to me and he's like, hey, you ever gonna build that aquarium? I'm like, have you driven by Ann Harbor, bro? It's kind of one of those things. One that was a really, it's the large. People should look at it this way, right? It's the largest investment in cultural infrastructure in our community.
Yeah,
probably ever.
Ever, yeah.
And two, it is already being a catalyst for that neighborhood. The Iron Pier building, which is the beautiful residential building with commercial space, Myers Creek's there.
Yeah.
Since this has gotten up and going, they have Sapphire Recruitment Services has moved in. In addition to that, Peacock Restaurant is now moving in. There's no accident. None of this is by accident. Core, who's developing, is putting a new hotel next to the Aloft there.
Oh, okay.
And that hotel, which should start in 26, they basically said, we're coming here because of the aquarium. So we always, from an educational piece of infrastructure, from a tourism generator, from a ability to tell the story of the cleanup of Onondaga Lake, the neighborhood catalyst, this is going to help turn the Inner Harbor into the neighborhood in this community. And so we're happy to be there. We're going to make sure that the vision is executed. The project is going to be complete in June. It will be
complete this next June.
Complete. Like July, we're going to be opening up for the public. And this is a dynamic investment. Yeah. It's going to be you're going to walk in and you're going to have freshwater tanks. So think of everything that you have, and the Catskills and the Adirondacks, and a little bit about what the history of Onondaga Lake is. Then it's going to move into the exotic saltwater tanks that everybody loves to go see. Yeah. Interactive exhibits where your kids and families can get that sensory feeling.
So Tom can swim with the fish? Is this what you're telling me?
Will we have an orca?
Yeah.
Will there be an orca there?
There won't be an orca, but you're going to have sharks, you're going to have stingrays, you're going to have otters, you're going to have everything people like.
Otters are so cool.
I saw an otter out of the water the other day. So cute. Very cute. But all these things that are going to draw tourism. Yeah. And so everybody needs to think of this too. County government, we're a $1.6 billion operation. Mm-hmm. Property taxes are $146 million. So let me say that again, 1.6 billion, 146 million. Mm-hmm. All the revenue that funds everything for support for people, for infrastructure, for parks, all that comes from sales tax. Yeah. And so when we are making investments, we're going to make investments in things that drive economic activity, that capture existing spending and bring new spending. And we were very lucky. Coming out of COVID, we had a record year surplus because we contracted like business, and then it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. So we had a $90 million surplus that one year. That's what we're paying for with this. We didn't borrow money. We're not borrowing anything. So this will be a venue, one of the only county venues that will make money every year. and it's going to be fantastic.
So the same guy that went, hey, that aquarium, you ever going to do it? And you're like, yeah, drive by it. The same guy probably thinks Micron is a fallacy, right? Same guy,
yeah.
Maybe. So tell us about Micron.
Micron, we're going through the environmental review right now.
That's got to be fun.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
That sounds like fun.
This thing, if it doesn't kill me, right? But the reality is we're at the goal line. The environmental impact statement will be done in October. That triggers a timeline where we can then essentially break ground in this year, right? I don't want to say the last week of November, then the first week of December, and everybody loses their mind, right? But this year we're breaking ground. They've hired Gilbane to do phase 1 construction. So everyone understands the scale of this. This is going to be
Gilbane, big company,
huge company. They're going to, and they're using all local people. They're going to be clearing about 500 to 600 acres of land. To do that, you know how much money it's going to cost? Almost $1 billion.
Really?
So just the clearing of this site is the largest capex any company's ever done in Central New York. And so, but construction will start by 2027. You're going to see, if you went and looked at what the Boise fab looks like that they're building now in Idaho, vertical enclosed. 2027 is going to look like a city's being built there.
Wow.
And then certainly, then you're going to have all the electricians, all the plumbers, everybody in there building out the carpenters.
They're already working on the roads up there. Claudia Road,
Yeah.
Is that water that they're running? Or what?
Our pump station. So that's putting down the sewer infrastructure for the neighborhood, because that neighborhood doesn't have sewers.
Okay.
And for the Micron site. And remember, we've acquired land across the street for supply chain companies. Part of this isn't just Micron. Micron's they're gonna invest $25 billion in Fab 1, then over probably $25 billion in Fab 2, and then that's phase 1. Phase 2 is Fab 3 and 4, and so phase 1 we're working on now. But all the gas and chemical companies, material supply companies, tooling companies, most of them are going to be here, or they should be here, right? And part of what I do right now, spend a lot of time, is I've been to Japan, I've been to Taiwan, I've met with numerous Korean companies. Other companies from around the world, getting them to co-locate with Micron, and we're having success, and we're gonna be able to talk a lot about that success in 2026.
That's excellent. There was a question I was going to ask you about the. Oh, I forgot. Darn it.
That's okay. So I live up by Wegmans up on Route 31. Traffic wise, it's already busy. How are they going to accommodate that on 31? Because it feels like that's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, so the good news is if it wasn't for Micron, 31 and 11, the state runs those roads, they never would have fixed it. You could have had, I think Tanisha was here before. You shouldn't ask her that question, because she would have had to lie. This project is the reason why 31 and 11 will get enhancements. It's already started. If you look 31 towards Cicero, the Thompson Road Circle.
Right.
If you go down further, South Bay and 31, you're seeing them widening those lanes, right? Everybody's doing these things. But the environmental review actually gives the roadmap for the infrastructure improvements that need to happen for timing-wise, right? This needs to happen by the time Fab 1's open. This needs to happen by the time Fab 2. This by Fab 3. And so you'll likely end up seeing a new 81 exit off of Sneller Road.
That
will help. But there will be enhancements on 31. 11. It will make our lives a little bit easier now that I'm living in the town of Cicero. For a kid from the city, that's like driving to Canada every day. Right?
I grew up in Cicero. Going to Camillus, there was a lake in the way. I never went over there. Never.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Well, I appreciate it.
And thanks for all you're doing. We really do think we're champions of what you're doing, so we appreciate it.
There's something going on right now. This moment we're in has been like no other moment, really. And so I think people should enjoy it. Hopefully they're believing in it, because there's a lot of more good things to come.
Excellent. Awesome. That's our Onondaga County Executive, Ryan McMahon, right there on the local show.